What is up, everybody? It's me, Duke Farley, back at it again here on Lost at Sea, and I am unfortunately joined way too early by the first person eliminated from season 3 of Live. Adam, how are you? How's it been since the game, I guess?
Ugh, it's been fucking terrible, honestly, because like Ascendance, the burn just lasts so long and it's just such fucking torture because you relive it you live it in person. You live it again, like watching the episode with the cast, and then you're stuck advertising. You got to get your friends and family to watch it. Everybody gather around and be disappointed together. Relive it again. Then Duke finally hits you up because you still have to do a fucking exit interview, relive it again. So it's just like the amount of wounds and the amount of salt this fucking production team has. It fucking burns, man, and it never goes away. So hopefully after
It
today.
this is it. This is the last thing that you have to go through. Um I want to get right into it. I was talking to Jabbar about your episode, The Boot.
Yeah.
Last week, and we totally thought that typically the person that's in your position doesn't go home first. It's the person
Right.
that, like Keaton or Connor, who's kind of either wild or not like socially interacting with the cast that goes home. What do you think was the reason specifically for you taking the bullet this soon?
Oh man, it's like the game always starts with that first fucking boot, you know? So this is like what sets up other people's games. This is like what puts the game on a course most of the time is just that first boot. It gives everybody an excuse to be like, "Oh, well, this happened during the first boot, so this is why I'm doing this during like the second vote and shit." So you always get your whole game set up with that first fucking vote. And typically it's an easy one. Someone does something fucking stupid, boom, everybody targets them. Um, Somebody maybe isn't connecting so much, like you said. So Keaton and Connor were the perfect fucking two names to be out. I was immediately in like protect Connor mode because like I had a good talk with him the night before, had a good relationship with him. There was even a point where me, Keaton, and Connor were outside, and it was just like, all right, so none of us are voting for each other, and they're like, all right, get back inside if you're going to talk. So we never saw that conversation. But Keaton was just like, it's not going to be any of us. So I was thinking in the back of my mind, well, if it's going to be a person on the black team, like at least there's Erica in an emergency situation because the three of us are going to stick together. And the fact that that imploded so fucking quickly because Keaton would do anything to get the fucking target off of him, which I completely get. If my name was out there earlier, I would have put in a lot more fucking work because it was 25 minutes of Keaton Connor, and then it was 5 minutes of Adam, and I had like 4 minutes to fucking wrap my brain around it and try to do something. But everybody I talked to was like, no, no, like you're good. It's fucking Keaton. Um, but yeah, people were playing right out of the gate. I did not expect to be an easy first name because the night before I was so like socially entangled already. You saw when I left, I'm like, fucking, I hope somebody from the other side of this room wins because all of my people were over there. Like, I had relationships already with fucking Taylor and AJ and Rocky and Ozzy and Sarah and Kira. And then on my side, it was like I felt really good with Billy and Emily and Connor and Madison. So it was like, I got all these people. Let's just set up these initial relationships. And I have like a couple different paths to take tomorrow, depending on how these people act. So I felt I was good fucking set up socially. So this curveball, man, like I did not fucking see it coming. Even when I knew I was gonna get like one or two votes, I was blindsided as fuck getting all but Josh who voted with me. Fucking bananas.
Um, it's interesting because from the episode, it seems like the red team, you guys went to a joint elimination, red team, and then your team being the black team, was
Mm-hmm.
dead set on not voting one of their own. And then, but you're
Right.
saying that you guys actually had a black team conversation where you guys were promising, I guess, promising not to vote each other either.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because once Keaton said that, I appreciate that he took me aside and like had that talk. So I was like, all right, then fucking, I'm not voting for either of you guys. We still got like 20 fucking minutes. Like, let's figure out somebody else. The fact that Red was just like, we're sticking together and that's it. Like, oh, I thought that was bullshit out of the gate. But like my first time playing Ascendance, fucking, never played the org, only watched the show, that kind of shit. So it's like, you don't want to do fucking too much to make yourself a problem the next round. So I just kind of like hang back and see what happens. But right when it was time to vote too, well, right when we had to go to like strategy time, it was fucking Marcelo and Billy who came up to me too. We're just like absolutely not voting for each other. I'm like, perfect. That sounds good to me. That was another like actually that deal came before the Connor Keaton thing. So I was like, all right, cool. This is like a couple of people that I know aren't going to vote for me. Here we go. Got to find Emily and Madison and see what they think. They're both like, yep, Keaton because he's just doing a little too much. And I was throwing his fucking the fact that he had a power all over the place. First of all, when he told us he had it, he's like, I don't care if you have to tell people that I have this or whatever. I'm like, perfect. Told people immediately. Told Taylor, told Marcelo, told Billy, told Josh. Like, I didn't give a fuck. You're saying I can tell people? I'm telling people. Obviously, like, I don't give a shit what happens in PGO game from this point. So yeah, put that information out there, and then like instead of targeting him for having a power like publicly, he was like cutting deals like if you fucking vote to keep me, I will give you this. It's like how many people are you gonna say that to? You can't rip it up fucking 6 times and use it. So it's just like, but I mean, it worked. Like his like just scatterbrain, panicky, like, oh, this is my second time playing. I don't want to go first. Bullshit. Like, fuck him. Which I love Keaton, but I'll say a bunch of shit about him during this. So, sorry, buddy.
Do you it seems like you both of your names were kind of going around at the same time, and it seems like the person that initiated your specific name was CJ.
Mhm.
Were you surprised with CJ like watching the episode back or after the season, him being the one that specifically said to go for you?
Yeah, I like because I mean, naturally, when you get voted out, you want to know like where did it begin? Because like, what could I have done? Like, who fucking started that? And I didn't get closure until literally the other day when we watched the episode, and then I'm going around fucking asking people because there was just this massive confusion the whole time. Because at first it was like, oh, it was Keaton, oh, it was the entire red team, and then I talked to them, they're like, no, 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 it wasn't us, fucking. But yeah, it wasn't until like I got out of the game and like more people started coming out that I even found out what the fuck happened. So watching the episode, I couldn't believe that. And I mean, I felt like Madison was like really pushing it a lot because she was just going around saying it. Fucking, he's played these things before. He could be a fucking social threat, and he could be this, he could be that. Like, and yeah, CJ, like that was I really didn't expect that. Him and I had like a moment the night before because he hit me with the like just pulled me aside when everyone was like broke off with playing games and chilling and stuff, and he's just like, hey man, like I just want to say like I really appreciate you telling your story, and like my sister's homeless, and like he told me his like personal story, and he was the only one who like got the fucking heartstrings. Like he took my story and used it against me and like immediately had me, so I felt like, oh man, like I'm good with CJ. We had that talk. Fucking I'll see him like deep in the game. So yeah, he got me, and just fucking talking to him about the style of player he is. It's like either check all the morals at the door. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll say that his fucking wife has cancer type shit. Like he's that kind of player. So I mean, whatever. I fucking fell for it, and I just wish I didn't. But yeah, I definitely didn't expect CJ and Madison going for me so hard. Madison was my bench buddy, so like I thought we had a good relationship. We were like super chatty over there. Like I considered myself like close to her and Ozzy. Like I thought I was gonna get lumped in with that because we were like talking and fucking having our little kiki in the corner. So yeah, there was just a blindside left and right. And I really wish I had gone out like fucking Frenchie, where I did way too much shit in the first round and I got Frenchied, but instead I just got fucking Francesca, and that's like boring as hell, and there's like no pride in that. Just randomly get popped for how people think you're going to play down the line, not for anything that you're doing right now in this moment. So it was more of a reputation thing, I felt like, than it was what I was doing specifically in that game on that day.
So going into the game, I know that you mentioned that you had seen or played with Taylor before.
Yep.
Were there any other people that you had known or recognized having played with, I guess, or seen in the community going into this game?
Taylor and Connor and Emily were the only ones. Oh, and Billy, the only ones that I had like played with before. I just played Mayhem with Billy. Me and him were like super tight. Fucking had this newbies alliance to get our asses to the second day. So I like had this like ongoing trust with him where I felt like I don't have to worry about Billy. He took me aside anyways as soon as we got beds. He's just like, dude, fucking, we did it. Let's keep doing it. Taylor, same thing. It was like we hadn't talked in a long time, and like we had a whole thing in holidays fucking 3 years ago, wherever it was. We were like super tight duo in that game, and I came in like fifth or sixth, and she went on to win. So I was just kind of like, we were like nervous of like approaching each other at first, but I was just kind of like, we did it before, let's do it again. Because the first thing she said to me was like, are we like good? Just because like there's been like messy org shit and shit in our group of friends and stuff like that since then. But it's like, we have a history of fucking succeeding together, so might as well pick up where we left off. So I was already feeding everything I had to her. I already had all kinds of information. I knew that fucking like the only reason Billy wanted to fucking sleep in CJ's bed because he wanted to see what like was on his fucking COD thing that he got the first night. So it's like I knew that. I already knew that like Rory had a fucking clue, and him and Billy were like looking in the bushes, and Connor was a part of it, and like there was like all this stuff that was going on in that first round, and just like information. I'm just feeding it to Taylor, feeding it to AJ, sprinkle a little bit to Rocky, that kind of stuff. Just like getting the information out and making a mess, putting targets wherever else I could put them. So yeah, I knew a lot of shit. And obviously, like I had played with Emily before as well. And like Emily, I would fucking compare to like, I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship where like, or say, okay, let's say you have anxiety and you're in a relationship with someone who has anxiety and you don't have compatible anxiety. You like trigger each other's anxiety and it's a fucking mess. So you can't be together anymore. Emily, it's like we have that relationship, but it's paranoia. Like she gets paranoid about me first, and I'm paranoid about her paranoia, and then our paranoias just ruin our fucking games. Even though we played brilliantly together the first time we played Control, we came up with the fucking +1s alliance, got fucking 5 people together with a +1, controlled the whole game, blah blah blah. Did all that shit before that shit ever existed on fucking television and in the community and shit. We were running shit, but I don't know why she's always been so fucking afraid of me, and then she just buckled so hard. Literally, my fucking bedmate. She slept in my fucking bed and voted my ass out. I was so pissed off about that. Like, you little fuck.
Yeah,
So that was
it seemed like from the episode that there was a little bit of a conversation that you guys had, that she didn't want to like, I guess, say a name because she felt like she was already a little bit of a threat because she won captain.
mhm.
Do you think she was kind of being like not giving you as much information, or like you said, was maybe paranoid of you a little bit?
I didn't know if she was already like thinking me when we had that conversation. I think that was like right before my name really got out, but who knows what exactly was going in her head. But at that point, like I talked to everybody else besides Emily. I just kept hearing that her and Madison were on the same page for Keaton. So I was like trying to fucking track her ass down in the house. Like, where the fuck is Emily? She's just in a fucking closet somewhere. Wanted to have a conversation, see exactly what she thinks, because I felt like she would have been straight with me. But the fact that we had an audience during that conversation, like Connor and Josh were there, and like somebody else was like swirling around in the
Like
background.
Rory.
Yeah, right, yeah. So just kind of like checking in to see what's happening. I feel like she wasn't like as honest or like straight up. Like we could have had a lot better of a conversation if we had a one-on-one conversation. So it's all in just a matter of like who's around at the time and all that kind of shit. Plus, I know her fucking type, so I knew right out of the gate she was gonna love fucking Josh because she was in love with this kid fucking Jacob when we played together. And as soon as I saw Josh, I'm like, oh god, that's fucking Emily's like org boyfriend right there. Like no matter what, she's gonna fucking love him. And they're cuddling together on the couch the first night. Oh, Josh, come cuddle with me, sit under the fucking blanket and all that bullshit. I'm just like, oh god. But I had a good relationship with Josh. He was my fucking shuttle buddy. The only person I knew who was definitely in the game because we took the same car from the airport. so so I thought I'd be good. But yeah, I don't know. She's just fucking like the line of the first night was I wanted to sleep in the Coliseum because that's where I slept during like isolation and shit. And of course, the most people are in that room and everything. So fucking, I go in, claim the bottom bunk, and like Emily's the last one, like kind of going around. She's like, "Well, like I guess I'll sleep next to Adam. Just don't touch me, Adam." I'm like, "Just don't touch me, Emily." Like, and that was like the joke of the first night. Like, neither one of us wanted to fucking touch each other. So good. I'm glad I kept her up all night, fucking snoring because fucking she's an asshole. Love you, Emily.
Speaking of Josh, Josh was the only person to, besides yourself, to not vote for you.
Mhm.
Surprised, or did you said you felt like you had a good connection with Josh?
Um, I equally hated every single one of them. And like, even though I knew like one person voted to keep me, I was just like, fuck all of them. But when I realized it was him, I'm like, wow, he really was like, real with me, even though like he knew the numbers weren't there and he was like voting for Keaton to send a message and whatnot. The fact that he did like vote with me after we like had all that like shuttle buddy time together, like I was very happy because I'm like, okay, good. At least I formed like one genuine bond with one fucking stranger who had my back at the end of the day, even though the end of my days was early in the fucking days. So it's like it was nice to have that and fucking because he was like from Florida and he was like kind of a fucking Panthers. Actually, he turned out to be my fucking secret Santa for Ascendance Secret Santa, and he sent me this Panthers hockey puck. So
Oh,
I call him
nice.
my sugar daddy Dwayne. Love him.
How good did it feel once you were eliminated to get up and just curse out everybody that just voted for you?
Oh man, it was like I'm a big blow up everyone's game on the way out kind of a person. And like I had all of this shit on the tip of my tongue. And the only reason I didn't was because I was slightly protecting just Rory on the other side of the room, who I knew had a little fucking thing with Connor, and they were like looking at the same like pendant clue or whatever the fuck. So that was the only reason. And I wish I didn't like hold back. I wish I just blew up all these motherfuckers. But but yeah, I'm just like, I got nothing to say about fucking this people. Good luck the other side of the room. I gave everybody the finger on the way out, but of course that gets edited out too. So but then Josh, he gets to say, I will swear on the fucking Bible in this episode. Like they had so much focus on me because I swear so much. They just like let a fucking Bible like slip through the episode. I was like, what the hell is this?
That was people were in the comments with that one. They were not happy that he promised on the Bible.
Right, yeah. But that's another one of those things like fucking people do that left and right these days in games anymore. It doesn't mean anything. Um,
Um, so beside, I mean, obviously we thought that gone too soon, of course. I mean, typically player that's playing the style that you're playing doesn't go home this early, all that good stuff. Besides all that shit, what was your favorite part of the experience? Doesn't have to be the game, could be something outside the game.
Um, like I worked in film for a long time. I worked as a production assistant on like major motion pictures and a couple TV shows and things like that. Similar to Marcelo, I've been an actor for fucking almost 20 years at this point. Like, and nobody knows I'm an actor. I'm also an actor, Marcelo, probably longer than him. Shameless plug. I have a fucking feature film on Amazon Prime. If anyone would like to watch it anytime, it's called The Graveyard Game. On the
Link
Graveyard
in the bio.
Game. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the Graveyard Gang. I'm the star of the whole thing. Fucking that was my big like achievement back when I was living in Boston and stuff. But yeah, so I've always loved like being involved with like production-y things. I love like the lights and the cameras and the fucking the countdowns. Just that whole environment is nice for me. And it was like real janky in the first fucking season, and then they were like really turning it up in the second season. So I knew I wanted to play the third season because I felt like the production value was going to be the best, and you just felt good being there. Like this person's on a fucking camera, this person's got microphones, this person just doing all kinds of stuff. So even though some people still fucking shit on the game, it's like the evolution has been incredible, and it's only going to keep getting better because these guys take good notes and they learn a lot of things. So that was my favorite part, was just being a part of like a big production. I've been fucking applying for shows for 18 years. I've been to the semifinals of Big Brother casting 7 times. I almost got on 3 different fucking dating shows. I was just supposed to be on a show called $1 Million Island that got fucking shelved last minute by NBC. So I'm always so close to all these fucking opportunities. So when this came up, I'm like, this is the closest to one of those things. Like, let's get in and let's get my camera time and let's have some fun. Because I mean, it's a huge loss for the season, and I will toot my own fucking horn, but it would have been a lot funnier. It would have been a lot more entertaining if I was in the rest of the shit. And I know that for a fact.
I agree. I agree. And I
And
could
like as soon as I got voted out too, like the first fucking thing after, I'm like, fuck you motherfuckers. I take 2 steps down the hallway and I'm just like, God, I have to have a fucking interview with Duke Filey. I'm so pissed off. Like, I don't want to be first because after my big talk with you, I'm like, I'm going in to win. I'm not here to fucking get past any fucking points. I'm just playing the fucking game to win. And then I talk all this shit and then I shit my fucking pants. So that was terrible.
Well, I'm sorry that came across your mind as the first thing as you were leaving, but it's been great talking to you. Great catching up. Great hearing everything. Um, but yeah, besides that, is there anything else that you want to talk about or shed some light on before I close out this exit interview?
Um, let's see. I mean, when I did get out of this fucking thing, like, the week before this game was when we were allowed to come back to our house after the hurricane. So literally walked through my house, saw everything was destroyed. That whole week, we're throwing all of our fucking shit, all the shit that I've ever owned in my life. I'm throwing it in the front lawn to get picked up by a fucking crane. So like, they're like, oh, we understand if you don't want to play and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I think it'll be good for me. I need the distraction. I need like to just fucking go stay somewhere that I've already prepaid for because I'm fucking homeless. So it's like, let's go fucking do this thing. And man, did I regret that. Like, just with the state of my mental health, I really wish I didn't play. Just because like as soon as I got voted out, I was fucking miserable. And like, they're good to you, like they give you your time to talk, but then they got a fucking show to run. So they run off and go do that. And I just sit in a room by myself and I'm just like, ugh, like I wish they had fucking mental health care providers because everybody handles it different. Some people like to be alone. Me, I like to fucking talk. If something bad just happened to me, I want to talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. And like I'm just sitting on this bed and then a fucking like wasp like falls down from the ceiling and fucking lands on me. I'm like, shit does not get any fucking worse. Like, what the fuck is happening? So when it rains, it pours. It was just bad, bad, bad. So anybody who sees this, I would recommend playing the Ascendance org before you fucking play this game because it's like Ascendance is a giant inside joke where you have to keep explaining the joke to the next batch of people that come in. So it's like might as well go be a part of the inside joke before you have to come get the joke explained to you. And I just feel like I didn't get the joke and fucking completely was out the door. So yeah, that's my advice. Play the fucking org first. Get in, get your fucking experience and shit. Because that's one thing I wish I had walking out. Because I'm like, damn, like, did I really not know what to expect? Like, I really didn't see this coming. Like, I just wish I was more well rehearsed so that I couldn't have been a random pop. I just wish I got to fucking go down in a blaze of blindside glory, not this random ass first boot bullshit and let everybody down. Like my daughter's fucking crying. She's like, I wanted to show this to all my friends and now I can't show this to my friends and all that. I'm like, trust me, like that was one of the first things I thought about too, because she's gonna be excited. She's always wanted me to get on a show, and I get on the show, and all these fucking assholes ruin it. So now they have a little 9-year-old enemy walking around cursing their name. So that's what you get, fuckers.
Well, maybe in a couple years she'll come and redeem you.
Yeah, I mean, my son, he's fucking 16, so he's like getting there. He's like, when I'm 18, I'm gonna hop into these orgs and all that stuff. So that'll be interesting. Oh, and
All
all the
right.
motherfuckers who are saying I have a fake accent, fuck you. Because this is what I've learned from trying out.
Who's saying that?
Someone's like, "Where's the accent now?" Or I think it was Drew and fucking and Peyton was giving me shit. But basically, here's the fucking story. So every time I try out for these shows, I try to be myself. And the worst advice they always used to give me was be yourself. And you always end up accidentally acting like a job interview version of yourself when you're trying out for shows. So every time I'm about to do something like this, even right before this, I'm like, okay, me and Duke fucking drinking beers around a campfire in the middle of nowhere, fucking Massachusetts. And like I just put that in my head, and then I like, I treat it like you're one of my buddies. Otherwise, I like slip into my casting, like persona, and I'm like, welcome to Big Brother, like the fucking game I host. Like when I'm a host, I don't use my accent because I'm trying to pronounce everything. Being an actor, they teach you to pronounce everything. So either when I'm like being fake or fucking being my hosting self, then I lose the accent. But otherwise, it's time to fucking potty and drink some fucking beers and fuck you motherfuckers, bitch, shit, balls, dick, cunt, fuck, because I couldn't say it on the show.
Cheers to that.